How are you all today? This is one of my favorite books. You can see that it's kind of ratty looking, huh? I've had it a long time. And you know what this book is titled? This Great Game. What could that be about? Baseball! Oh, and here's some kind of old baseball players and newer baseball players, and there's all kinds of articles about games in here, and Harvey Haddix pitches 12 perfect innings but loses to Milwaukee in the 13th. You guys remember that game? Who hit the home run that changed the game and won it for Milwaukee? Joe Adcock. You can use that sometime in your meanderings. Anyway, there's a lot of pictures of every team in here. Red Sox and Cubs ball players, because you know that I'm a Cub fan from Chicago and so on and so forth. There's a couple of great pictures of... somebody bought this for me. Anyway, here's a picture of Fenway Park. One of the Red Sox sliding into second base, out. Anyway. Now, you go to Fenway Park sometimes, or where else have you seen baseball games? Have you gone to Pawtucket to see the Red Sox game, the minor league team? Have you gone to the Little League fields in Holden and seen games? Have you come to the church softball league and seen games? All right. And when you come to our church team softball games, what do you see, Lucas?
I see people hitting green balls.
People hitting green balls. Yeah, that's true. They are colored softballs. What else do you see?
I see people with bats.
See people with bats? You see people who are bats? No. Anyway. People who fall. People who limp. Yeah, those kind of things. But anyway, you also see people cheering for their team, right?
My dad likes Red Sox.
Your dad likes the Red Sox. Most of these people here like the Red Sox. There are a couple of secret Yankee fans among this crowd. But we don't talk about them, and they never show their face. Anyway, when you go to the Red Sox games in Fenway Park, which unfortunately are so expensive, most of us can't go very often. But if you get lucky and you get to go, you're going to have a great time. And everybody cheers, and the foul ball comes in the stands. And if you catch a foul ball in the stands, what do you get to do with it? Keep it. You don't have to give the ball back like at a church game. Emily.
I kept finding baseballs.
You kept finding baseballs when you went to the baseball game. You kept them. Very good. Well, that's what you can do at Fenway Park, too. But you know what's interesting? The last time I was at Fenway Park was a few years ago. And do you know what I found out at Fenway Park? Sometimes you can have a rotten time. And do you know why? Because the people around you are not very nice people. And there's over 30,000 people in the park, and some people act like they're completely goofy. And one time when I went with my son, we had some people around us that were acting that way. And so a bunch of us had to get up, and first of all, we had to tell them to try to shape up if they possibly could. And then when they didn't do that, we had to go get one of the security people, and they had to remove these people from the park because they were being so nasty. That wasn't much fun, was it? See, everybody who participates in things doesn't get in what we call the spirit of the thing. And that is, we're there to have a good time. We're there to be nice to other people. It's a crowded place. We're there to share our love of baseball. And we're not there to make fools of ourselves or be nasty to other people. Now, today, these palms that you have represent a parade that happened a couple of thousand years ago, actually, in Jerusalem. And Jesus came into town, and many people wanted to see Jesus. And many people had heard about what a good person he was, and many people had heard about the wonderful things that he had done. And some people really loved him, even though they hadn't even met him yet and didn't know him. But they thought that God had sent Jesus to tell a very important story, a story everybody needed to know. And so they waved these palm branches, and they threw the palm branches on the ground to make like a carpet for Jesus and his disciples to walk on as they came into Jerusalem. But not everybody there loved Jesus. And there were people there who hated him, as a matter of fact. And there were people there who eventually wanted him to die. So when we look at these celebrations, no matter where it is, you kids are going to grow up into a very mixed world. Some of the stuff you're going to do is great fun, and you know, going to Fenway Park or going to any baseball game is a wonderful experience, but not everybody gets it. And one of the reasons why we're the church is that we try to help people to get it. We try to help people to get in the spirit of things. And not only that, if there are people who can't get in the spirit of things, if people who are nasty, we're in the church because we proclaim to the world we're not going to be nasty. So if someone is being mean to us and someone is being nasty and saying bad things, are we going to do the same thing? No. We're not going to do the same thing. Because when people do that, their hearts get hard, and their hearts don't understand, and their hearts don't love other people. And we want to tell people to soften their hearts, to let the world in, and to try to be kind in the world and try to be helpful and try to say that the most important thing is to love one another. Even if we don't know somebody, loving one another means to be kind to them and to be helpful. And as you grow up, as you go through the world, sometimes you're going to deal with people who are not very nice, and yet you're still going to want to be helpful to them because that's the way Jesus lived. And that's the thing that we've learned from him that's so important to us. Some of you have parents who work with other people, and over the years they'll tell you, I think of the parents who are nurses, for instance. The people who are nurses or doctors or other kind of medical people, sometimes the folks that they're trying to help are really nasty to them. But their talent and their gift from God is to help heal those people, and they keep that gift going no matter what. It's hard to do. It's going to be hard for you to do, because I know that sometimes, probably now in school, you have kids who are not very nice kids in your own classes. But don't harden your heart. Don't make your heart so hard that you act the way they do, because that isn't why God gave you his love. He wants you to be soft-hearted and kind and generous. Okay? Especially when you go to Fenway Park and root for the Red Sox, right? And when the Red Sox lose, are you going to be yelling at other people? Because there's going to be somebody sitting next to you who's rooting for the other team, you know. Even if it's the Yankees. Okay, you can go to your classes. Thanks for listening.